What's up? What's up? What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Don't forget that tonight at 8 o'clock, we will be interviewing Glenn from Rookies. Hey, go on it. But baby, there was some things going on that I had to come down here and talk to you guys about before that. Let's see. Is there anybody in the room? Hello, hello, hello. What's up, Tracy? How you doing, babes? I'm about to come from behind the panel now. Hey, what's up? I don't have my lips on. Let me put my lips on. You know, I'm a little early. I know I'm a little early. Hold on. I'm a little early. Let's see here. But let me go ahead and just let me go ahead and share this out, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started, you guys. Like I said, I'll be back at 8 o'clock, so we're gonna go ahead and get this in so that we can talk about these things of the things of the things, honey. See here, who's in here? What's up, Nicole? Hey, T Lounge. Yeah, I'm early today. I know you was gonna talk about Whoopi. Girl, I ain't gonna spin nothing. No, ma'am. Well, y'all might think it's a spin, but I don't think it's a spin. I already told y'all that as much as I love Whoopi, if she wrong, she wrong. So I will say what I need to say, okay, about Whoopi. Okay. I will say what I need to say about Miss Whoopi. Okay. But before we get into that, I have a couple of things. We're gonna get into her. First off, first of all, let's say Happy Black History Month, okay? It is exactly answer. You know, I don't play that about my Whoopi. Happy Black History Month, okay? I've seen people calling it Happy Black Future Month. However you want to word it, child, just celebrate it. Okay, that's all I can tell you. However you want to celebrate it, just celebrate it. What is that on my neck? However you want to celebrate it, just celebrate it. So I am a stand. What's up? What's up, peace? I am a stand now. I ain't lying about that, child. I'm a stand. So this what I'm gonna say. Today, so I figured I was gonna come down here like every day with like a Black History Month fact or something like that. Last year I put it on my community wall. I'm still trying to get it on my community wall, like something every day. But today is Langston Hughes' birthday. His birthday always kicks off Black History Month. And so I feel as though you all should go and do some research on the man, the myth, the legend that is Langston Hughes. He's actually one of my favorite writers. I have a collection of Langston Hughes works that I love. And I actually, Langston Hughes, James Baldwin, Zora Neale Hurston, like a lot of those writers from like the 50s and 60s, absolutely, absolutely love them. Oh yeah, the Black History Month memes are hilarious. I'm not even gonna front, they're funny. So my intention was to come down here with, and I still might do it when I do my interview with Glenn. I still might come down with a little something, something for y'all, but I don't have it right now. Okay, I'm just gonna let y'all know. But just know that today kicks off Black History Month. At work, I try to wear something Black History Month every day at work. Because I have so many like Black History Month t-shirts and stuff like that. So today I wore a hoodie. You know what? I will say this though. I wore a hoodie from, it's called My HBCU Matters. I believe that's their Instagram. If you go to at My HBCU Matters, I ordered a hoodie from them a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to post it on my Instagram because the hoodie, it says My HBCU Matters, and then it has Bennett College underneath it. So first of all, I want to just give them a shout out. I want to give them a shout out first of all because I can't always find Bennett College stuff on a lot of these like mainstream HBCU websites. It's just not one of the more popular ones. And I understand if you're in the business of making money, you know, if it's not something that's going to sell, then you may not carry a lot of it. So first of all, the fact that they had Bennett College on their website, I was here for it. Okay. So I immediately was like, oh, I got to order that. Second of all, one of the person that was modeling the Bennett hoodie, I went to school with her. Like I know her. We went to Bennett together. Yeah, Target. I think I remember that from last year. Target had a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna have to go through Target. I'm gonna have to go through Target because they might have some stuff that I can wear. So every day I wear something different. So I kicked off with that. And then today I have on my cornbread, for those of you who follow RuPaul's Drag Race. She is on Drag Race this season. Cornbread Jate. She is a drag queen out of LA. So I ordered this. So I have this one today as well. So that's what I do for work. I normally wear something every day. I have like my Negro Baseball League t-shirt, my Black Panther t-shirt, my Rosa Parks, my Angela Davis, Tuskegee Airmen. I just have I have a picture. I have the Olympics with Tommy, with the two men. Oh God, I always forget the guy's second name. Carlos and Tommy with them with their fists in the air. So I always try to bring a little something down to the people. Okay, that's what I try to do. Hey, what's up, Cameron? Hey, Jonathan, coming in. Y'all people coming in. Like I said, I know y'all not used to me coming in this early, but I'm trying to get a live in and then be ready, rest a little bit, and be ready for my my interview at 8:00. So, but hold on a quick second. I want to show y'all. You love that pic? I love that pic too. Hold on, I want to show y'all. So second of all, I ordered from them, and My stuff got here quick. Like when it showed up, I was like, dang, is he already? What's up, Jason? Hey, boo. I was surprised because I was actually, when it came, I thought it was something else that I had ordered. This came faster than some other stuff that I ordered. So shouts out to them for that. And this is what it looks like. This is the hoodie. I'm going to take a picture and post it on my Instagram. So that's what the hoodie looks like. And the other thing is, you guys, the quality is so good. The quality, this is thick right here. And you can see it's not ironed on. This is thick. See that? And it's not ironed on. So I was happy. I was so happy. And the price wasn't ridiculous. Like it was, it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't expensive. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely would recommend them. Y'all check them out. My HBCU Matters. If they have Bennett, they probably, if you went to a HBCU, unless it was a really, really, really one of those really, really, really small ones, I'm sure they have your school. So check them out. And it came with a little pin, like a little lapel pin that says my HBCU Matters. I was here for it. It was a great experience overall. Yeah, it's a nice quality, you guys. Matter of fact, I wore it to work today. I actually wore it yesterday too. And it's so thick. I had to take it off. I got hot during the day and I had to take it off. So anyway, highly recommend it. So that's my Black History for today. Now, here's my other Black History for today. I didn't get a chance to hey Abs, what's up, boo? Put this in the title, but I saw this earlier and I was like, oh, we're gonna talk about this. So let me read y'all the article and then we're gonna get into some things. And I'm sure El Teddy gonna talk about this the next time he does a live, child, because this is right up his alley. Brian Flores sues the NFL three teams as former Miami Dolphins coach alleges racism in hiring practices. So Brian Flores is the former head coach of the Miami Dolphins, right? He's a Black man. And he actually improved the team. Like Miami actually had a decent season. And so it was really shocking when he got fired, because usually, especially if you're taking over a bad team, usually you're given a couple of years grace to turn the team around. And so people were really, 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 you know what, Cameron, check it out. I honestly couldn't tell you, but check it out. Generally you're given some sort of grace and turning the team around. So when he got fired, a lot of people were shocked, myself included. So let me read you guys this article. Brian Flores has sued the NFL and three teams, the Dolphins, the Broncos, and the Giants, alleging discrimination regarding his interview process with Denver and New York and his firing last month by Miami. The 58-page lawsuit was filed in Manhattan federal court Tuesday and seeks class action status. So that means that he's opening that up to anybody else who feels like they have a case against the NFL and that they were discriminated against in their hiring practice in the NFL. Now, let's be clear. The NFL, I think I don't have the numbers in front of me, so I don't want to make any numbers up. But it has been really, really bad as far as the NFL and the amount of Black head coaches that they have. Like, it is ridiculous. In it, Flores claims the Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, attempted to incentivize him to tank on purpose or lose games shortly after he was hired in 2019, with Ross allegedly offering Flores $100,000 for every game the team lost that season. Flores says that as the team won games late in the season, Dolphins general manager Chris Greer told him Ross was mad that Flores was on-field success was compromising the team's draft positions. So, like, the worse your team is, the better your draft prospects become. Additionally, Flores claims Ross pressured him into recruiting a prominent quarterback, he put that in quotation marks, at the end of the 2019 season, which Flores refused to do so as to not violate the NFL rules on tampering. Ross then allegedly invited Flores onto a yacht for lunch in the winter of 2020, where he informed Flores that the prominent quarterback was conveniently arriving at the marina for an impromptu meeting. Flores again refused the meeting and left the yacht. Afterward, Flores claimed he was treated with disdain and held out as someone who was non-compliant and difficult to work with. He was eventually fired on January 10th of 2022, despite recording the franchise's first back-to-back winning seasons since 2003. Flores also alleged the Giants interviewed him last month for their head coaching vacancy for no other reason than to be in compliance with the NFL's Rooney Rule. So the NFL has a rule, the Rooney Rule is named after the owner of the isn't it the Steelers? The family, the Rooney family owned the Steelers, where basically the NFL has to interview a minority candidate for their coaching positions. They don't have to hire them, but they have to interview the minority, at least one minority for the position. So Flores claims he interviewed with the Giants on January 18 prior to the team hiring former Buffalo Bills assistant general manager Joe Schoen as its GM on January 23rd. He claims the next day Schoen finalized the interview date for January 27th, and Giants co-director of player personnel Tim McDonald texted Flores and said he hoped he would come in and win the effing job. However, hours later, Flores' lawsuit alleges he received a series of text messages from Patriots coach Bill Belichick, under whom Flores worked for 10 years in New England. In those texts, Belichick told Flores that he had heard from Buffalo and New York Giants that you are their guy. Flores then asked Belichick to clarify whether he meant to talk to him or former Bills offensive coordinator Brian Daboll, who was also in the running for the Giants job. Belichick then admitted his error and informed him that the Giants wanted the ball. Sorry, I effed this up. I double-checked and misread the text. I think they're naming Brian Daboll. I'm sorry about that, Belichick text. Flores alleged that his ensuing interview with the Giants was a sham. New York hired Daboll several days later. In a statement later Tuesday, the Giants said, "We are pleased and confident with the process that resulted in the hiring of Brian Daboll. We interviewed an impressive and diverse group of candidates. The fact of the matter is, Brian Flores was in the conversation to be our head coach until the 11th hour. Ultimately, we hired the individual we felt was most qualified to be our next head coach." Flores also claims a similar scenario to what happened with the Giants occurred when he interviewed with the Broncos in their open head of coaching job in 2019. Flores alleges that then Denver general manager John Elway, among others, arrived to the interview an hour late and hung over, as he claimed they had been drinking heavily the night before. In the lawsuit, Flores' law firm, Widor Law LLP, said the coach hopes to shine a light on the racial injustices that take place inside of the NFL. Among the areas he said he'd like to see addressed: increased influence of Black individuals in hiring, increased objectivity of hiring, terminating GMs, head coaches, increase the number of Black coordinators, incentive hiring, retention of Black GMs, head coaches, and coordinators, transparency of pay, and it goes on. I'm not going to keep reading the whole thing. This was from ESPN.com. So, listen, let me say this. I feel like he's probably what's up, Tabitha? Yeah, we're early today because I'm doing an interview at 8, and I was trying to get a 2-for-1 in, honey. Trying to get a 2-for-1. So let me say this. This is what I feel. I feel like he has probably a pretty strong case against the Miami Dolphins. If he can get other people to join the lawsuit, he probably has a pretty strong case about the NFL just going through the motions. That's something that has been said for years about the NFL, that they do have this rule. You know, they have this, the Rooney Rule, which is a good thing from the point of view of you absolutely have to have a minority interview for your vacancies, but there's no rule that says you have to hire them. And there have been some cases where probably one of the most famous instances is the case of the Pittsburgh Steelers, where Mike Tomlin wasn't one of their front runners. Like, he really wasn't. And then he went in for the interview and he knocked them off their socks and, knocked their socks off, whatever. And they ended up hiring him, but he wasn't even on their radar. So the flip side of that is this. Now, in this situation where you got a text message saying they already made up their mind that they was going to go with somebody else, but I think his stronger case is probably with the coach, the owner of the Miami Dolphins. Like, the fact that this man was going to give you an incentive to tank the team, and then he wanted you to break the rules by trying to recruit a quarterback that you weren't supposed to be talking to. Like, that's strong. But if he can get some people to come forward and say, hey, this was my experience, this happened to me, and create, because let's be clear, like Ebby just said, I'm surprised they're just now being sued. The disparity in minority coaches at that level is legendary. Exactly. And I just got finished watching something, I think it was on Real Sports with Brian Gumbel, where they talked about this. They did a whole outline of this. So it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds. I think that he might actually get some people to join the lawsuit with him, because I think a lot of people, and again, in that story with Brian Gumbel, there were a lot of people who have interviewed time and time again and have not been able to get back into coaching. I think one example was given was Ronnie Lott, who he coached for a couple of years and then he got fired, and how he hasn't been able to get another head coaching position, yet his peers, men who were fired all around him, before him, after him, have gotten 2 and 3 opportunities to coach different teams in different places. The NFL is also notorious for just recycling coaches. Like, you legit have coaches in the NFL who've been on 3 or 4 different teams. So it's interesting. The numbers will speak for themselves. Like Ebby said, the numbers, the data is there. And again, I think he may be successful with getting some other other people to join in his lawsuit, and then it's gonna get ugly from there. It'll oh shoot. It'll get ugly from there, child. Oh, wait a minute. I don't follow football, but I believe it, child. Excuse me, I've been drinking water all day. That's a good thing, but ooh. All right. So that was that. So happy Black History Month to us. Now, let me go and talk about Whoopi. So yesterday, down to the View, they was having a conversation. And Whoopi made some comments about the Holocaust not being about race. The Holocaust was about humanity. And it was about people's inhumanity. And that it wasn't about race. It was about humanity. Where are these trolls coming from? Good Lord. I got 3 back to back to back. These trolls are out of control over here on the YouTube. Golly. Hey, So Jeff. Now, you can visibly see all of her co-hosts giving her the girl, you done stepped in it. Girl, you done stepped in it. Look, right? And they even had Mayim Balik was, what's up, Universal Love? Doug Penderson, Brian Flores among the 5 candidates, including Saints head coach, interviews this week. Oh, well, he ain't gonna get that job. Oh, it might work out in his favor. He might get the job, so they shut him up, Well, good luck to him, because he did a good job in Miami. Like, he did. I was shocked when he got fired. I knew it had to be more than just about the coaching. It had to be deeper, because he did a good job. Like, it had to be deeper than the coaching. So yeah, I'll keep it love. I'll keep it. I will keep up with this story, you guys. As soon as Ebby blocks him, I block their ass too. I know that's right, Tabitha. There you go. That's it. That's it. So now, Mayim Bialik, y'all know the actress from what's that? What was the name of that show, y'all? Not How I Met Your Mother. About the neuroscientist. Oh shoot. What's the name of that show, y'all? Oh, daggone it. Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory and Blossom, yes. Well, that's when she got her start. That's when we first really learned about her was on Blossom. But then she was on the Big Bang Theory. Thank y'all. Yes, the Big Bang Theory. But she is also Jewish. And so you could visibly see everybody's uncomfortableness. Now, I almost wish that the conversation had been had in that moment with her there. But I guess for whatever reason they didn't deal with it in real time. So then last night she went on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and she was there to promote. She has a new movie coming on Lifetime this weekend. She's an executive producer, so she was there to promote that. But of course, it came up because, baby, it was all over everywhere. You know, they was calling for her to be canceled, and this, and this, and this, and that. So she further explained herself last night on Stephen Colbert, and what she was saying was, when she says not about race, what she was saying was, if I'm walking down the street with a friend of mine who's Jewish, and we walk up on the Ku Klux Klan, even though the Ku Klux Klan don't have no use for Jewish people, they see me first. And that is about race. And so what she was saying about the Holocaust was, Hitler, she was saying that the Jews were used as a scapegoat for the hatred and the inhumanity. I'm not defending her, y'all. I'm explaining what she said, okay? Please don't think that what I'm saying is that I'm defending her opinion. I'm telling y'all what she said. So last night when she explained it, it made a little bit more sense what she was trying to say, because she was like, listen, when I think of race, I think of what you can see, a visible difference, a person of color, a ethnicity that you can see and you know. She said, you may not always know and see a Jewish person, but you know a Black person. And that's what I meant when I said it wasn't about race, because I don't see it. I don't see that as race. I see that as inhumanity and hatred. She said, I'm not trying to whitewash the Holocaust or in any way lessen the Holocaust. I'm just saying that I didn't see it as being about race. So let me tell y'all, and I don't want y'all to think I'm defending Whoopi, but I'm gonna tell y'all a true story about my personal experience. First of all, I just try to stay away from anything as it relates to Jewish, because I just feel like you can't win. And I hope that didn't come off wrong, but it is what it is. She halfway right, because gays, no matter what the race, were in those concentration camps. Also, Jehovah's Witnesses. Listen, there was more, contrary to popular belief, Hitler didn't like nobody. There were Black people in those concentration camps. There were gay people in those concentration camps. The gypsies were in those concentration camps. Mentally ill. We know he started with the mentally ill. The Holocaust started with the mentally ill. Okay? That's who he went after first. Gay people had to wear pink stars, just like Jewish people had to wear the yellow stars. I mean, pink triangles, excuse me. If you got caught in a gay club, when they went and raided those gay clubs, you had to wear a pink triangle to identify yourself, just like Jewish people had to wear a Star of David. And let me say this. Every time I teach the Holocaust, do you not know that is a question that never fails, no matter how long I've taught the Holocaust, no matter how many different classes, age groups, settings, whatever, that is always a question that comes up. How did they know they were Jewish? So I understood once she explained what she was saying. I understood what she was saying when she said, I think of visible what you can see. Now, right, Whoopi is Jew. Yeah, Whoopi does practice Judaism. Hey, DC Native, what's up, girl? Look, and that's why I don't even say nothing. You know, you can't say nothing about the Jewish community. I see what she meant, but they are usually the gatekeepers of the entertainment industry in which she's employed. Yeah, you right about that, girl. So the gays had to wear purple upside down. They wore pink triangles. They wore the pink triangle. So when I was in high school, y'all know I went to a Catholic school. I went to Catholic school. My senior year in school, we had, what's up, Jarrell? My senior year in school, we had to take a class on religion, right? Why our senior year we were taking a class on religion? Because every year we had to take a religion class. But my senior year, the class was basically us learning about all of the other different religions in the world. And when we got to the unit on Judaism, I really didn't get it. When they were saying that Jewish is a religion and a race, I didn't get it. It really took a long time, and my teacher had to go through a whole lot of hoops to explain to me how you could be a race and a religion at the same time. I didn't get it. And I don't think a lot of people understand that Jewish people are considered a faith and a race of people. So with that being said, and yes, I know that that she practiced Judaism, but it's still something that I don't think a lot of people understand, that they are considered a race as well as, right, Jason, I'm not arguing, Jason. I'm not going down that road. I'm talking about what we're talking about, okay? Again, I'm telling y'all, I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just telling y'all what my experiences have been. And that is where I think she was coming from. And again, it took a long time. Look, y'all ain't listen. I'm not saying I agree with these things. I'm telling you what I was taught, because Israel, I'm not going down that road. I'm just telling you what I was taught. I ain't going down that road. I really didn't even want to talk about this story. The only reason why I'm talking about this story is because I don't want y'all to be like, see, Whoopi got in hot water and she ain't say nothing because she loved Whoopi. That's the only reason why I'm talking about this story. Because please know, I don't like touching this shit. I really don't. I really don't. Because honestly, I still don't know what Nick Cannon said that was wrong. I don't. And maybe that make me sound ignorant, and maybe some people gonna hate me, and you might click off, but I don't mean no disrespect. I don't mean no harm. I still don't know what he said that got him canceled. I don't. I heard it a million times. Maybe I'm not woke enough, but I really didn't understand what he said. I didn't. But moving on. So because this is the way it was explained to me, and then I'm not going down the rabbit hole with none of y'all. I see y'all comments in the chat, and I'm not saying that I disagree or agree. I'm just not going down the rabbit hole. But the way it was explained to me was because Israel is the home of Jewish people. That is where the race part of it comes in. Is that is their homeland. That is where they originate from. That is where the race comes from. Again, I'm not telling y'all I agree or disagree. I'm telling you this the way it was explained to me. And then, of course, we know that it's a religion. So, yeah, I'm not going down that road. Although I thought they were both white and black Jewish people, both born into the faith and converted. Yeah, they were. Yeah, they are. And that's, listen, When I tell y'all I didn't get it, and it took them, and I still didn't really get it. I just stopped arguing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just stopped arguing. But I think that's where the mindset of it, because a lot of people are like they're a religion. They're not a race. Like again, I think that there's some things you just shouldn't talk about. Because I just don't think you can win. I just don't think you can win. And that's one of the things that you just can't win. Whoopi said last night on the late night show with that she said she's not gonna. She said she understands where people are coming from. She's heard it. She was it was explained to her, but she said she's not gonna apologize for something that she doesn't. But how did she word it? What she said was she wasn't going to give an empty apology. She said now she does understand better than she did in the moment. And what I took from that was maybe when they went to commercial break, they wanted her to apologize, and she was like, "I'm not." But I think now, like after some other people might have talked to her, probably some of her Hollywood friends called her, da 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 da. Then I think, and then today, of course, on The View, she gave a full apology. And I didn't watch The View yet, but child, they had a whole expert over there, child, to explain it to her. Right, exactly, Tracy. I personally am just like, listen, Duchess, I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing, y'all. I'm just telling y'all what I was told. I'm not giving you my opinion at all. I'm not telling you whether I agree or disagree. I'm just telling you what was told to me. Hey, Queen Diva, what's up, boo? I understand, really, B. We can't please everyone. The people can't understand that or get a memo. They can't leave the chat. Some people keyboard gangsters too much, but they can be the child. Lauren, you know how we do over here. I love y'all. Y'all love me. And if you don't, Abby will escort you out. It's okay. Abby will escort you out. It's all good. It's all good. But I'm not saying that I agree or disagree, right? I'm just telling you the way it was explained to me. This was when I was in high school. I am far removed from high school, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm still a little confused. So that's what Whoopi has said. That's what she got in trouble for. Of course, they wanted her fired. They was calling for Whoopi to be fired. All of the above was happening. They wanted Whoopi fired. Child, they're not gonna fire Whoopi. So if that's what y'all want, they're not gonna fire Whoopi. They're not gonna fire Whoopi. Right. And see, Duchess, that's the thing, Duchess. I'm not even saying that I disagree with you. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just saying that that's a no-win conversation. And now we'll go down the rabbit hole, and child, you just can't make everybody happy. Yeah, I'm not saying I disagree with, because I see where you're going, Duchess. I see where you're going. But I'm not arguing that, child. That's a whole biblical scholar conversation that I ain't trying to get over that, child. But I'm just saying that's what had happened down to The View. That's what Whoopi had got in trouble for. They wanted her fired. I'm sure she got all kinds of emails with people cussing her out, calling her all kinds of. They called her, they called her all the names. You know what I'm saying? Anti-Semitic and this and this and this and that. She came on today. She apologized. They brought a whole expert down to explain to her the error of her ways, and she'll be all right, child. I don't think so, y'all. I really don't. I don't think. Well, give me about 24 to 48 more hours, and I'll tell you. But I really don't think so. I think Whoopi will be all right. I do. I know you did, Duchess. I saw you, boo. Yeah, I really don't think so. I think we're good. I think give it another 24 to 48 hours, and I think the storm will have passed us over. I think the storm has the words the songwriter wrote one time. The storm is passing over, and I just think that's where we are, child. I just don't like how the other hosts don't stand up to her sometimes. Oh, well. I mean, I don't know. Because I think they go back and forth. I think they go back and forth. Personally. But that's what had happened. So if you want to see, you can go to today's episode of The View and you can hear the whole apology and the explanation. Because again, I'm not going down the rabbit hole, but they had a whole expert on there today to break it down and explain it and all that good stuff. So y'all go on over there and y'all check it out. Okay. Now, last night, down to the Playboy, the Secrets of Playboy situation. And they know that, Jason. That's why her ass ain't going nowhere, child. Whoopi ain't getting fired. Whoopi ain't going nowhere, child. So down to the Secrets of Playboy. So last night's, okay, so you know, A&E is doing this whole series on Playboy, right? Exposing Playboy, right? So last week we had the first 2 episodes, and those 2 episodes really focused more on Hugh Hefner and his relationships with his women, his girlfriends, and all that good stuff. Last night's episode got deep. It got deep. And let me say this before I start talking about this. Y'all gonna have to be very, y'all gonna have to listen to the words that I'm using because there are a lot of words I'm not gonna use because y'all know YouTube get real funny about certain words. But the whole episode last night was a very touchy situation. That whole episode last night was about the Playboy bunnies. And again, if you grew up in my age group or older, y'all remember the Playboy bunnies. They had the Playboy clubs. They were like, they were like lounges. They were like, you could pay for a membership. They said it was $25 to get a key. You got an actual physical key. And then, of course, they had tiers, just like anywhere else. You have the VIP, and then they had the super duper VIP. And they said that the super duper VIPs were usually the celebrities. The VIPs were like the ad execs, the people who worked at Playboy, on the upper management and that kind of thing. But do you look at I haven't spilled the tea. I haven't yet. But I heard her interview on the Jasmine brand and I was like, ooh, but I haven't looked at the comparison video, but I'm going to, because I still want to look at the cabaret. I still haven't looked at the cabaret. So so you had your different tiers. Your dad just told you about it. Your dad was a member of the Playboy Club, honey. So they talked about, oh, damn it, I forgot to say this in my review last night. I kept thinking about it, and I got so caught up in the other stuff, I forgot. Gloria Steinem wrote an expose on the Playboy bunnies, and they turned it into a movie. And for those who don't know who Gloria Steinem is, Gloria Steinem was a big leader in the feminist movement of the 1970s, the women's rights movement of the 1970s, 1980s. And she was a journalist. She actually started, what was it? What magazine was it? Miss Magazine, MS Magazine, I think is what she started. And she went undercover as a Playboy bunny at a club. And then she wrote about her experience. And a lot of what they talked about last night, we saw it in the movie. So, for example, they talked about how tight the uniforms were and how the women would get kidney infections and their feet would be so swollen because of how tight it was. A corset uniform. It was strapless. And so in order for it to stay up, it had to have a lot of boning so that it could stay up for hours at a time. And she talked about how in the movie, how it would leave scars and marks on people's body. Your uncle had a membership back in the day in Detroit. I know that's right. How they had to keep their uniforms immaculate. They talked about it was a demerit system. If you were late, you got docked a certain amount of demerits. If your hair wasn't done, if your nails weren't immaculate, if your makeup was off. And then they had the infamous weigh-in. You had to maintain a certain weight. If you gained weight, you would be put on suspension. If you couldn't lose the weight, then you basically would be, you were given a certain amount of time to lose the weight. And if you didn't lose the weight within that certain amount of time, then you were suspended until you lost the weight. or they fired you, whichever came first. The movie, she wrote an article, and then the movie was made out of the article, and it was an expose. And it got a little bit deeper into the different things, certain specific instances, which are some of the things we talked about that they talked about on the documentary last night. And publicly, there were these very strict rules, right? The men weren't allowed to touch the bunnies. The bunnies weren't allowed to date the men. They weren't allowed to fraternize and all that good stuff to keep it separate, right? To protect the bunnies. But offline and behind the scenes, they were very much encouraged to date, especially the VIP members. And in the episode last night, they talked about how so many of the women would be assaulted on their way to the car because people would wait for them to leave work at night, and they would get them between when they left. And thank you so much, Universal Love. Thank you. It was called A Bunny's Tale, 1985. And you could probably find it. If you Google it, it's probably online. You could probably find it today. It's probably on a PDF form somewhere online. I'm going to actually try to look up and see if I can find it, because I want to kind of reread it again. But I know they made a movie out of it. They ended up making a movie out of it. And they talked about the girls being assaulted. One, because you had these men who had these fantasies all night, were a little inebriated, and the fact that these women had money. They had tips. They had money all night. And they talked about, right, Kirstie Alley played the main character. Yep. The movie's on YouTube. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it again. Put that on my list, child. I might even review it. We might even do a review about it, child. Yep, I remember Kirstie Alley. Yep, she did star in it. She sure did. I'm going to go back and look at it again. So they talked about that, right? There was one bunny, her name was Jackie. She was one of the first Black bunnies, and she talked about her experience. One night she went to a party after work with some of the other bunnies. They invited her to the party, and she was basically assaulted in gang style fashion. That's how I say that. She was sexually assaulted over a period of time. She was drugged and sexually assaulted. And she said she recognized one of the men as somebody who frequented the club. And she went back to work. She told her managers what happened. And because it happened off property, there wasn't anything that they could do, but they did take this person's key and they banned them from the club. She said in her situation, her management protected her, because she said that man came back up in that club and she broke a glass and was about to get him. She said they literally picked me up and walked me out of there, and they saved my life, because she said I would have killed him. And I wouldn't have had any remorse about it. She said she didn't go to the police because, we know what they do to people who go to the police now and say they were sexually assaulted. Y'all know what they would have done in the 1970s to a Playboy bunny, right? And she said she didn't want to deal with that. She didn't want to deal with being victim shamed and all that comes along with that. She didn't want to deal with it. And I definitely understood her saying, I got it, because look at what we do to victims now. When women come forward, why they say we find something wrong with whatever, we will always find something wrong. And I've been guilty. I point the finger at myself. I've been guilty at times. Okay, I'm no angel. I've been guilty at times. So that was one story. Then there was another story about there was a resort, a Playboy like resort type situation in New Jersey. I think it's Golden Gorge. Hold on, I wrote it down. Y'all know I got my notes, child. Great Gorge Resort. It was in New Jersey. And one of the bunnies was working there, and she said, yeah, Duchess. Mm-hmm. And she said, right, a Black Playboy bunny at that, right. She said that when she started working there, they had these really strict rules. Like, the bunnies weren't allowed to use the bathroom inside of the hotel. They had to go all the way back to the quarters because it was a resort. They lived there on the premises, and they had to go all the way back to the bunny premises to use the bathroom. And if they got caught using the bathroom inside of the hotel, they were fired. She said that there was a gate around the bunny place where the bunnies slept, where their rooms were, and there was tight security. And she said that she complained to they called them the mothers, where they basically they were over top of the bunnies. She complained to her about how strict the rules were and why the rules were so strict. And she said well, it's for a reason. Well, come to find out, a couple of years prior to this, there was a group of bunnies. They were young. They had just started working there. They were new. Group of bunnies had gone to an after party with some of the guys. And again, hindsight is always 20/20. It's always easy for us to blame. Why would they do that? Why would they go there? Listen, hindsight is what it is, okay? But they went and once they got there, they were drugged. They were held against their will. They were there for like 3 days, and they were videotaped. And they were told, when they finally did let them leave, they were told, if y'all tell anybody what happened, we're going to release the tapes. It's going to ruin your career. It's going to ruin your reputation. And again, we're talking about 1970s, maybe 1980s, right? And the girls came back. They didn't say anything, but eventually word got out because they talked to each other, and eventually word got out what happened. Baby, Playboy fired them and then brought in basically crisis management to the resort to clean up whatever needed to be cleaned up, and made sure that the story didn't hit the press, made sure that the authorities didn't find out what happened. Obviously, nothing ever happened to those men. There was a criminal investigation, but because nobody cooperated, nothing happened. And that's why all the security was in place. Fast forward, why all that security was in place, right? They talked about the fact that a lot of the bunnies were brought into the mansion for the parties with these VIPs, the celebrities and the VIP members. And basically, they were expected to do whatever. And there were plenty of instances where the women were, I'm going to say they were assaulted, okay? Because even though there may not have been a gun to their head, if that's what the expectation was and they didn't feel like they had a choice. And they said that a lot of the women were assaulted anally. They were sodomized because you can't get pregnant that way. They said that even Hugh Hefner himself liked it like that. They talked about how there was a whole cleanup crew, figuratively and literally. Hugh Hefner employed former LAPD and former law enforcement, because not only did they know how to maneuver within the system, a lot of times they had connections and they could deal with stuff. If somebody did go to the police or did go to the authorities, then he could kind of head it off and they could, y'all know what I'm saying. But they also had a cleanup crew, literally, who would find these women after the parties where they had been basically discarded after whatever happened. And because these women were not allowed to go to the authorities, they would clean them up, literally clean them up and put them in a limo and send them home. Now, Playboy bunnies made a lot of money, and that was probably the incentive to get them to work, and maybe even the incentive for them to put up with a lot of this, right? Because they made a lot of money. They made really good money and tips on top of their salary. So was all this illegal activity happening with visitors or employees? Everybody. What's up, Sir James? Did you see the documentary on Amazon? I know you're talking about the special on Annie right now. Also remember the series called The Playboy Club with Notori Naughton. No, I don't remember that. I'm about to go look that up. I remember the Tory Norton being in that. Oh no. Hey, her creative life. Yes, happy Black History Month to you too, darling. Reminds me of Boogie Nights when that little girl OD'd and they cleaned it up like nothing. Yes. Yes, absolutely. So, oh yeah, the Playboy. Oh, it went down at the Playboy Mansion. Oh yes. They said in the bushes, by the pool, in the grotto. They had rooms. If you go back to the last week's episode 1 and 2, last week, they talked about how they had different rooms and they had all kinds of orgies and things going on. Oh yes, it went down at the Playboy Mansion, honey. Yes. I have not seen Golden, but I am gonna watch it. Oh, it's already streaming on Showtime? Because we're gonna talk about that too. And I know some of y'all ain't gonna want to talk about Bill Cosby, but you can bow out gracefully. Okay, you can bow out gracefully, but we're gonna talk about that. Okay, we're gonna talk about it. So that is what had happened. Now, the bunnies were instructed that if anything went down, they were instructed to call the mansion first and not call the police. That's how they were trained. That is what they were told. And again, y'all, it's easy for us to sort of look back with 2020 vision and be like, they did what? They said what? It was a whole TV series. I'm gonna have to look at that, but it was only one season. Child, Hugh Hefner probably shut that thing down, honey. Because, they talked about how he was connected like that. He probably shut that thing down, child. So this what brings me to Mr. Don Cornelius. Now, let me say this, A&E. Let me say this, A&E. Out of all them stories that y'all told last night, y'all didn't mention nobody's name until y'all got to Don Cornelius. Let me tell y'all the story, and then I'm going to tell y'all how I feel about it. So this is one of the stories they told last night. Allegedly, I can't say it enough, allegedly. Don Cornelius was one of the celebrities that used to be at the Playboy Club regularly. He had a VIP status and all of that. One night, he was partying down to the club. He was in a little VIP section. He invited some of the girls to come into the VIP section. And when it was over with, exactly, Duchess. Oh, I'm going to get to that, Miss Duchess. Oh, absolutely. Let me put that up there. Thank you, Jeff. It comes on A&E, Tabitha, but it's probably streaming on like Hulu or something. But it comes on A&E. Hey, Karen, thank you. Happy Black History Month to you too, doll. He invited them girls to go back to his house at the end of the night. They were sisters, right? They were sisters. Both of them went back to his house, and allegedly, they were drugged, bound, sodomized with wooden objects, and kept there against their will for 3 days. Eventually, one of the girls was able to get away long enough to make a phone call, and instead of calling the police, she called the mansion because that's what they had been trained to do. And the cleanup crew came through, got the girls out of there, cleaned them up, made sure they weren't going to notify the police, and sent them home. And allegedly, we know that there were no charges ever filed against Don Cornelius, and he was allowed to continue to stay at the club. They said he came back in the club the very next week. Now, here's what I'm going to say about this. Whether it is true or not, I have a problem with a few things with this. One, y'all spent that whole hour talking about these different instances. You talked about women who were assaulted in the parking lot. You talked about other members who assaulted these women. You talked about other celebrities who went to the club, but you didn't talk about any of the other celebrities that were accused. And all I'm saying is this. I'm not saying that the man didn't do it or he did it because I won't there. But two things I got a problem with. If you ain't gonna name nobody else, why would you name Don Cornelius? You didn't drop no other names. None. You didn't mention not another celebrity, not another member. You didn't say nothing about nobody else. And two, he's not here to defend himself. He's gone. So I understand that, and it wasn't a first-hand story. I would have even been okay if it was the young lady who was assaulted, if it was the sisters, if it had been one of the sisters or even both of the sisters. I would have even been like, well, that's their story to tell. And who am I to tell them what did or didn't happen to them? But this is a third party. Now, this is one of the members of the cleanup crew. She was on the cleanup crew. So you one of the people that was helping them cover this shit up for 20 years. Well, longer than that. But you were the ones that was helping them cover this shit up. And now you coming down here and you telling a story and you're dropping his name. And he's not here to defend himself. So now his estate has to deal with, because he's been trending all day. Y'all ain't noticed that Don Cornelius been trending all day? If you didn't know why he was trending, that's why he's been trending. If y'all been sitting here wondering, why in the world is Don Cornelius' name all over the place? That's why. Because last night's episode of the Playboy, it's called Secrets of Playboy. It comes on A&E. And like I said, it's probably streaming on either Hulu or Netflix, right? I think Hulu. I think it's streaming on Hulu. But it's called Secrets of Playboy. That is why he has been trending all day. Now, again, I am not here to protect a man who would do that to women. Let's be clear. I don't want nobody to get it twisted. That is not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is I think it was reckless for the producers to allow, and listen, that woman telling her story, she could have told her story. They could have just bleeped that out. They didn't have to say his name. Just because she said his name didn't mean they had to run it. Because I refuse to believe that they didn't drop no other names. I refuse to believe that nobody else said a name. I don't believe that. They love to tarnish the name and legacy of a black man. The story was already out there. I heard that before. Now, some are going to think that's why he offed himself. Hey, Star. Mwah. What's up, P? Playboy has a brand new clothing line and continues to make money from licensing. Yeah, but you're right. But it's not owned by Hugh Hefner's family anymore. It's the current Playboy is in no way, shape, or form connected to Hugh Hefner, his family, his estate. They sold it. I mean, I still agree that people are making money off of it, but it's not them. It's not his family. What's up, Bob Marley? Hey, boo. Don Cornelius' estate should take action. I would, and I saw what somebody said that story's already been out there. I never heard that story before. That doesn't mean it wasn't out there before, but that's my point. It may have been out there before, but I never heard it before, so now I'm hearing it, along with however many million of people who watched that episode last night. I guess they figured if Hugh Hefner's name getting dragged, so is Don's. Child. And again, let me say this. If they had dropped some other names, I probably wouldn't even be tripping. But if you sat through, and it was at the very end, you had a whole hour-long episode about how these women were assaulted and how badly these women were treated. And they told us 3 or 4 different stories, examples of how bad it was. They told us 2 stories about members. So you knew who these people were. They never said their name. Jackie said she know exactly who assaulted her. They didn't say his name. And all them celebrities that was in the Playboy Club, I don't believe that there wasn't no other people that behaved badly. I don't believe that. Now, call me what you want. I don't believe it. Exactly, C. Golden. They literally sold the estate. They wanted nothing to do with it since Hugh Hefner died, and I see why. Yeah, they even tore down the mansion. The Playboy Mansion has been torn down. I wonder, are they going to bring up the incident with John Belushi at the mansion back in the 80s? Probably, because next week's episode is dealing all with drugs. the previews for next week episode is going to talk about all of the different drug allegations and different things that happened as it related to drugs as far as the Playboy is concerned. So it'll probably come up in next week's episode. Because I didn't know that Hugh Hefner was accused of being a trafficker at one point in time. They said the government suspected him of trafficking drugs through his clubs and stuff like that. So it'll probably come up next week. I don't know how many parts altogether. It was Duchess. They talked about that. If you were a super VIP, if you were on that top tier VIP level, the women were encouraged to date them. And like I said, give them whatever. Give them whatever. And Don Cornelius was a VIP member. Ashley Say So channel has Old Hollywood about Don Cornelius, and she talks about it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up, Tracy. You said Ashley Say So. Hold on, let me look. I'm gonna have to look it up. But I just had never heard. Again, that's not to mean that the story wasn't out there. I just hadn't heard it. Let me see here. But it disturbed me, y'all. And again, I'm not defending bad behavior. Again, I don't want anybody to get me mistaken or confused by that. I'm not behaving I'm not defending any bad behavior. But I do feel like I feel like that was reckless. In my opinion. I just feel like that was reckless. You said Ashley Say So. Okay, hold on. Oh, I see. Yeah, she does the whole thing on Old Hollywood Scandals. Here it is right here. She did it 12 days ago. Old Hollywood Scandals, Don Cornelius. She did it 10 days ago. Or 12 days ago. I'm going to put the link in the chat if y'all want to go check it out. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm just going to put the link in the chat, y'all. Y'all go over there. If y'all give her a click in the view, y'all tell her Really B and Tracy Nelson and Really B sent y'all. Because thank you, Tracy, because I didn't know nothing about this. But I'm going to listen to this later on. I'm going to listen to it later on tonight, though. Because like I said, I didn't know. I had never heard the story. Now, let's be clear. I used to watch Soul Train. Y'all remember that the TV show Soul Train? They had 2 seasons of it down to the They had 2 seasons of it down to the BET. Don Cornelius was a jerk. I mean, that's the TV show was based on the true story. Don Cornelius was a jerk. And let's be clear, if it turns out to be a true story, I would not be surprised. Again, my problem isn't that they said Don Cornelius's name as much as that's the only name they said. Yeah, American Soul. If they had mentioned other names, I probably wouldn't even trip. And the fact that he is not here to defend himself. Now, you can't control the fact that the man dead. But I just feel like I just refuse to believe that they talked to all those women and nobody else said a name. I just don't believe it. I don't believe. You're talking about, these are women who were assaulted in the 1960s, 1970s, 1980s. I don't believe that none of them said a name. I don't believe it. And the one name that y'all choose to keep in is a man who's not here to defend himself. And I ain't gonna make it about color, but I'm gonna make it about color and a black man. Now, they talked about the fact that Regis was there all the time. Martin Sheen was there all the time. Of course, they brought up Sammy Davis Jr., who was there all the time. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was there all the time. But you mean to tell me all these celebrities were there and y'all no other stories to tell? None. Everybody else was on their best behavior. You don't even have to tell me a story about somebody else being assaulted. You can tell me a story about somebody who used to like to grab the girls by their butts. You know what I'm saying? Tell me something about somebody behaving badly. Because I don't believe he the only one. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that. I think y'all know where I'm going with that. I think y'all know what I mean. Now, y'all can go see it for yourself. But I ain't hear no other names. Okay? Shout out to the 107 people in the chat. Listen, if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already while you're in here. I appreciate it much. Right. Give all the names or none. I just don't believe that nobody else said a name. I just don't like if y'all go and look at it, or if anybody else looked at it last night, y'all tell me what y'all think. The way those women were telling those stories and the amount, just the sheer volume of examples that they had of bad behavior. Ciao. Now that doesn't mean that everybody was a celebrity either. That's fine. I'm just saying. The other thing that I thought was weird was there was only one person who told a firsthand story, and that was Jackie. The rest of the women were talking about stories that they saw, witnessed, heard, knew. Jackie was the only person that I remember who said she was assaulted. Now, there was another woman who talked about the horrible things that happened, and you got the impression that things happened to her, but she didn't go there. She didn't tell it, but she talked about it as a big picture. And they asked, I think the producer asked her, did any of these things happen to you? And she said unimaginable things happened, but she didn't go deep. She didn't tell a specific story. She just said unimaginable things. Late to the party, but did you see the correlation of Hugh and Bill? Well, I'm just saying Bill was there. I gotta go back and look at this. I didn't know it was already on. I know it came on this month, but I didn't know it had already come on. So I'm gonna have to go and look, because I don't think I have Showtime, but I'll find it, because I'm not getting out another damn streaming service. I'm not paying for nothing else until I can get rid of something. Okay, but I'm sure I can find it. I'll find it. But anyway, y'all, so meet me back here, y'all, at 8 o'clock. It is 6:45. I'm going to get me some dinner. I'm going to chill out for about an hour. And then I'll be back here at 8 o'clock to interview Glenn from Rookies. And y'all meet me here. I have to see it. Okay. I'm going to see it. Oh, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at it. Hugh gave up the ghost. He wasn't going to jail. Child. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at it and we're going to talk about it. When I look at it, we're going to talk about it. But y'all make sure y'all go check out Ashley Say So. Hey, well, welcome from Panama City, Florida. Hey, girl, hey. But y'all go check out Ashley Say So. I just dropped the link for that specific video on Don Cornelius, and I'm gonna listen to that. I might listen to that tonight. And like I said, y'all tell her I sent y'all now. Y'all let her know I sent y'all over there, okay? And we'll be back here at 8 o'clock, and then I probably will not be on live tomorrow because I have a meeting tomorrow after work, and by the time I get home, it's gonna be late. But I'll see y'all back here on Thursday. Okay. All right. Mwah. Peace.